So, like, this would be an appropriate juncture to have some kind of analogue to the Final Fantasy VII time flashback in which everyone sits Jella down and says, like, hey, now that we've got a second, do you want to maybe tell us the fuck? Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Seems, pragmatic, sensible, in keeping with what must surely be our priorities at this point. And it's not like, we don't have we don't have a moment.
So do you think all this stuff is actually made of ice, or did they just like enforce the world's strictest color coordination here?
I mean, if you're determined and I guess have access to magic, you can probably get some good stuff going out of ice. Now, exactly how committed you are to the aesthetic is, up for question, but no.
Like, I can't imagine how uncomfortable a bed made of ice is.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of sheets you put on it, I guess. Okay, so, start talking. Also, great name for a city.
It's so peaceful and quiet.
Yup, great place. A little nippy, though. Anyway, tell us your story, Shella.
Thank you.
Tell us why the Queen of Wazin would need to embark on such a dangerous journey.
Let's see. Where should I start?
Things you do not want to hear at the start of your cutscene.
It was about 9 years ago, I think. Barnett, my royal nanny, the one you met back in the palace, felt something strange was going on in the outside world.
I mean, I joked before, but I would actually laugh if this was, an actual full interactive flashback.
Something is about to happen. It is but a pebble in calm waters now, but its ripples will grow. Until someday it will swallow all. The people, the world, everything.
Yep. Normal morning routine.
So she decided to send out 3 witches to keep an eye on the outside world. Cadell, Glamis, Katrin, all of them are younger sisters of Barnett.
Well, okay then.
Can't believe we were being watched the whole time by the plot ladies.
3 witches, you said?
Seems a little bit on the nose.
Could they be the ones who wove the magical shield encircling Anue?
Yes, indeed. It was them. We actually bumped into them on several occasions.
Oh, good. They're just going full obvious with this one then. I was thinking we were going to have some level of subtlety here, but I guess I forgot what genre we were dealing with.
Remember this name. Never forget. The name of the god was Malpertio. Malpertio sucked up the entire ocean, but choked and drowned in the very water he swallowed.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, are we just going with all... Are we just going to recap all of these in sequence then?
Go and face your
destiny.
I don't think we ever actually heard this one.
You wish to
I think this is
return
supposed to be the one that Savina heard,
as
which is
your
why she
dream
went to
person.
Anuenue to begin with.
Now, this is strange. This young man here, I feel no madness within him. Just an empty and lonely darkness.
Remain extremely creeped out by those eyes.
I appreciate that they blink.
Like, was that really necessary?
For quite a while,
In
the
Mira,
world
yes, it
seemed to
absolutely was.
change. We began to wonder whether we had made too much of a fuss about it. But then, 2 years ago, Barnett suddenly had a strong premonition. An ill omen, speaking of ruin and destruction.
Is that unusual?
Yeah, I was gonna say, based on what she was the last time she did this, that seems like it's probably like an everyday morning routine thing.
The end of the world is drawing
Uh-huh.
near.
There's Barnett back on her bullshit again.
That very night, I had an awful nightmare.
Again, is that particularly noteworthy?
So, I took 2 guards with me, Graham and Leon, and left. We reached the Empire and heard ominous rumors about the Emperor. I posed as a maid and found work in the Imperial Palace.
2
Eventually,
companions, you
I
say?
found out about Gelderblum's secret scheme.
I wonder what became of them. I'm sure it was
I
entirely
found
sensible
it,
and compassionate.
which seemed to be the key to his plans, and ran away. The Emperor spoke of something being sealed away in Sadal Sood's Moonguile Forest. It was there that I met Callus.
And boy, what a ride we've been on since.
This would turn out to have been a
Leads to us
mistake.
Here, now.
Correct.
I see. Shella's battle started long ago, while we were still living the simple life, with no idea what was about to happen.
Well, enough reminiscing. Let's take a look around town until Barnett's done with the preparations.
That wasn't so bad. That was like 6 minutes. I've sat through worse. Wow.
Jella's art appreciation skills are maybe a little suspect.
I feel like an opportunity for some kind of subtle characterization work would be to actually have like 2 completely different sets of not like dialogue, but narrated observations when you click on stuff and you're like, there's a thing here, and here's what appears to be an appraisal of it. Except the appraisal actually changes depending on if you're Callus or Jella. I don't know if this game actually went to that much effort for that stuff. But it should have.
We know it, I mean, it did a little bit. I mean, because there's a lot of people that if you talk to after the Callus incident, where they're like, oh, where they either ask you like where Callus is or a bunch of shit. So they did account for it on some level.
Right, but that's like reactions of other people. But I'm talking about something altogether more subtle, where the perspective of your protagonist is expressed in what seems to the player to be neutral narration, such as the artistic qualities of a snowman. It's to have stuff that doesn't actually have character attached to it turn out to actually have character attached to it. That's like peak video games right there. It's the kind of thing I want to see. Anyway, I forget sometimes that this isn't that recent a game. And we were still figuring a lot of things out in this era. Like, I remind myself that this was a contemporary of Tales of Symphonia. Which, looking back on, yeah, it's janky and broken and very, very weird. Although it did have a lot of heart. But at the time, it was like, wow, this is, like, literally the future of video games. Time, man. Crumbling into dust over here.
I appreciate that, like, half of the people you talk to in town are like, who the fuck are you? Go away. And then the other half are like, oh, Queen Shella, it's so nice to see you again.
I mean, that seems fine, really. That's like, I don't know, how many people do you think would reasonably know or like remember what she looks like given how long she's been away? Or be a little bit unsure? I don't know. Also, I don't know. Looking at that last place that we're in with the people fishing, I'm starting to come around to the idea that this absolutely is all just literally ice.
Hey, you know what? Queen Shella. She protects the ocean.
The ocean?
Yep. And we protect her, because she's busy protecting the ocean.
That's so.
Hush. Don't confuse people like that. Your Majesty, if I may ask, could you be thinking of going down to the lake? I thought so. Though I'm in no position to stop you, please look after yourself. I pray you return safely. We would be lost without you, Your Majesty.
Thank you for your kind words. I can't promise you anything, but I'll do my best.
Seems like a very diplomatic way to say you're weird, lady.
Yeah, I think I prefer the interpretation where she's just like, the lake? What the fuck are you talking about, lady?
It makes sense that Jella would have some capacity for diplomatically dealing with people she thinks are weird, unlike Callus, who would just insult them for being weird. Right aim.
Hey, isn't that a dragon?
It's amazing. A creature of legend, still alive.
Oh, you're really selling the ore here.
Great Mizuti nourishes the thought of riding it someday.
It's been a while,
Yeah.
hasn't it, O-White
Same.
Dragon? I'll be asking you for your help again.
Yeah, it's been a
Very
while,
soon.
like,
Please be
what?
ready.
A day ago? Was that about the time we broke out of the prison?
I'm not completely sure how long we're expected to think that we spent wandering around literally the entire world rescuing our friends from transdimensional cracks. Anyway, was this like one of those weird hidden JRPG plot trigger things where this is what you actually have to do but nothing signposts it?
That is absolutely what that was. And then there's one that we're going to do in like a minute that is not required, but like really, really should be.
Oh, and see, now that sounds like something you'd expect from a contemporary of Tales of Symphonia. That game was the poster child of like, hey, You're gonna miss this entire plot thread if you don't just drop what you're doing during this exact window and turn around and go to this one random place. Fully on brand.
Anyway, this man is breaking my pillar. I mean, I'm sure everything's fine, right?
What, by that one pillar? This seems legit. Yeah. I sense absolutely nothing of any interest proceeding here.
Yeah, no, Father of the Year.
Man, I can't wait to see how incredibly wrong this little thread goes.
I know, you like side quests, right?
I mean, I feel like that question's a trap of some kind. I mean, I feel like that dialogue's also a trap of some kind. Right, so... monster collecting?
Now call me crazy, but I'm gonna propose that there might be a reason that there are not many animals living in Wazan.
A reason? I feel like there might be at least two reasons. Oh, is this just a dialogue quest? I thought this was going to be like monster capturing. I thought we were going to have to forcibly distill the fundamental essence of every animal and bring them here. And, you know, let's be honest, it's going to be in cards. Of course it's going to be in cards. Why am I even questioning this? Like, if they're so worried about the animals surviving, you know, you can just put them in cards.
I'm so sorry. Had I been stronger, this wouldn't have happened.
So I don't know why this is skippable,
Please, Your Majesty,
but you do not have to talk to Leon and Graham's wives. You could just never resolve that particular plot thread.
I'm sure he wouldn't have had it any other way.
That's right. So please, Miss Shella, stop blaming yourself.
No, we blame Callus.
Thank you.
Come on.
They will always live on in my memories.
What part of any of this gave anybody the impression that we were blaming ourselves?
I mean, I guess to be fair, they were dead when Callus came to save Jella, so...
I I brought back their personal belongings for you. If only I could have...
Anyway, yes, you absolutely could have, at any point in the previous 20 hours, emptied that quest Magnus and gotten rid of their personal belongings.
Video games. I would like to think that their presence as a quest Magnus was conspicuous enough to make most players suspect something like this, but that doesn't make it any less of a dick move.
These Magnus once belonged to Sir Graham and my husband. I hope they'll be of some help.
Thank you. I'll take good care of them.
So, like, is that good? Or are we just here for plot completion?
I mean, a little bit of both. It is a very nice helmet, but you know, it's not like it's nothing earth-shattering. We're gonna get another one of those in the next dungeon.
So, like, what does anything in particular happen if you go and talk to them and you don't have the stuff?
Well, you wouldn't get the conclusion where you give them the thing, so you wouldn't get an actual like you would not get an actual reward for it, but you would at least be able to pop in and be like, "Hi."
Right. I mean, what I mean is there like actually always a prompt to hand over the stuff, or is it just like you talk to them and you have the stuff, and she's like, "Oh, hey, I have the stuff."
No. Like that only comes up if you talk to them after the first conversation.
We will, Barnett. I promise.
That's not so bad, I guess.
I'm not worried, Your Majesty. Are you all ready? Very well, then. I'll send you off to the Lake of the Dragon.
Anyway, are you ready for the most incredible boss fight in this game?
I'm gonna need you to qualify incredible. Because I feel like that's a statement we can interpret in a number of really quite distinct directions.
Anyway, this place is called the Lake of the Dragon. You will notice that there are several aspects of this name that are not present.
You have been expected.
Yeah.
Queen of the Icelands. You must pass the test to prove yourself worthy of receiving the mirror.
I mean, maybe the lake might be underneath that ice.
The ordeal awaits you.
That is ice, right? I mean, everything else in this place is ice. Well, okay then. I'm intensely suspicious.
So yeah.
I have... Well, I was going to say questions, but that would not really be accurate, because I guess what I really have here is a question.
Go on.
What the fuck?
What, you don't think that this is the pinnacle of game design?
I have my objections.
So this fight is completely RNG. There is absolutely no way to tell what card that you are picking. And you have a 1 in 7 chance of getting it right. And every time you get it wrong, you get hurt. Until you die, because fuck you, that's why.
Ah.
And also, if you don't at any point get her photo, you will never get another chance.
Ah. Cool. That is absolutely video games. But like that's more like the blackjack side quest in Red Dead Redemption 2 kind of video games than literally any other kind of video games. I think it's approximately that stupid. Actually, no. On reflection, I think blackjack in Red Dead Redemption 2 is stupider than this.
You have done well.
The odds of that are like actually,
My daughter.
the odds of this working out are actually, appreciable. But yeah, congratulations to us for whatever the fuck it was that we
Be
just did.
prepared. Your possession of this mirror means the time has drawn near, when the mighty ocean must be released.
Yes, I understand.
But seriously though, at least the blackjack in Red Dead Redemption 2 was optional.
Mother.
Unless you're going for trophies. For anyone who doesn't know this, the side quest in Red Dead Redemption 2 is you have to win at blackjack with 5 cards in your hand 3 times. And if you know literally anything about blackjack, you might appreciate how unlikely it is to get 5 cards in your hand without going bust.
How did it go?
And also to win the game against, whoever else might be present. And to do this 3 times.
Wonderful.
It's not in a row, is it?
Do it, Your
It is not in a row.
Oh, thank God.
I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you.
Anyway, in the abstract, that is much worse than this, but this, on the other hand, is on the
About
critical
2
path.
years ago, I had a dream foreshadowing the
Like,
end
is it a
of the
game over
world.
if you fail?
Yes.
Shella
Yes.
also had
That
a
will kill
terrible
you if you do
nightmare.
not get 4 hits
Then that she lost
before
most of her
you run out of
magical
health.
powers.
Nice.
Something was happening to the world. The queen.
Man, I really
decided
hope you
to
saved if
set
you go in there.
answers on her own. She told me she had made a promise with her mother, the previous queen, to go and look for the cause. Queen Shella would never listen to anybody once she'd made up her mind.
Wasn't she like
Yet she was
14
so
at
afraid
this
of the
point? Like,
outside
surely
world
somebody had
and
the
what was
authority to be
happening
like,
around
no.
us. It was hard to know who would be friend and who would be foe. Not knowing who to trust, Queen Shella
Depends what the
decided
law's
to
like
travel
around here.
incognito.
And what the law's like tends to be kind of fluid when you're, like, the actual monarch.
Are you awake, Your Majesty?
Yes, sorry for worrying you. I'll be fine now.
Drink this, my dear queen. It should cure you of any fatigue or dizziness.
Thank you, Barnett.
What's wrong? I suppose I used a few more herbs than you're used to. Was it too bitter?
No, that's not it. Tell me, Barnett, those who bathe in the light of the N Magnus, one who's transformed after touching the power of the evil god,
Forget it,
Barnett
Jella.
would allow me to bring them back?
No, come on, girl. Let's not go down this road. No, Barnett, don't encourage her.
Anyone struck with the cursed god's breath, taken by darkness, and return them to their former selves.
Well, great. Now we've got our hopes up.
Yes,
And for what?
Her
For
Majesty should
Callus?
trust this old nanny. I know you want to save that young man from the darkness.
But do we,
I
though?
figure saving him may be your top priority.
Like, do we really?
Barnett?
I dispute that we do.
Why don't we just let Melodia have
I
him?
wonder, whatever happened to those who banished the evil god long ago? A race of beings with mysterious powers, the children of the earth. Have they disappeared completely?
We don't have time to sit around pondering whether the people of those old legends exist or not to help us.
You know, that's awful rich coming from you, Jella.
I mean, on the one hand, we literally came here on a quest to find this mysterious, legendary people who may or may not exist to help us. But, like, on the other hand, we
I'll be all right
had a
now.
pretty good lead,
Thank you,
as it
everyone.
retroactively turns out, on that one. So, like,
We should be heading back.
like,
Corellia,
do we have a
Calbrin,
equally
King
good
Vatican,
surprise lead
all
on
the
that
people
one?
of Sadal Sud, Diadem,
I mean,
Nua Nua,
and let's also not forget the library.
and Callus.
I'm just saying, our track record in going after people who may or may not exist to help us is a bit spotty, we'll
Let
say.
us go back to them.
Anyway, my
Yes,
money's
on the double.
on Mimai being a child of the Earth. It's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
That checks out. Little dinosaur thing. That's sort of like the Earth.
See? It all fits.